This is ReplicantPhish. Welcome back. Glad you could join me again. Today's topic. This is why men think women in their 30s are desperate in 2020. Desperate how? Well, first of all, to address the elephant in the room. For most women, 30 is the cutoff date for them to have a family. So for many women beyond 30, it's not going to happen. Their chances of conceiving have fallen drastically. As well as baby rabies. It's the age thing, because not only is the 30s a woman's last chance to conceive a child, but it may be the last chance she has of finding a man of a certain caliber. And also because 30, for both men and women, is a very pivotal moment in a human being's life. For some lucky human beings, they would have passed the first quarter of their life, approaching the half of their life. The thing about the period from 25 to 30 is many youngsters suffer with quarter-life crises. Now, I thought I made this up, but I did not make it up. It's an actual thing. It's been researched for many years now. But it is an actual thing. Because after 25, it's a sense of, what now can I achieve before I'm 30? So many youngsters stress themselves out in this period. For some, it's after college, after university. For some, it's a transition to a higher paying job, or the start or the expanding of their career. For some, and I say some, it's a sense of leaving the party days behind, to have less party days and more focused days, because you're getting older now. So obviously, in the gap between 25 and 30, many youngsters struggle to find out and understand who the hell they are. Now, for many women, the sad thing about many women, and the thing I say that I feel sorry for women for, and it's not sorry for the women in general, it's more sorry for the time of a woman. The hot 20s, and then the zombie 30s, you're not really sure, not really. So you can add that to the mix as well. The jealousy, the envy of younger, hotter women. Hotter women that can still land men in their 20s, in their 30s, and so on. In other words, for many women, in passing their 30s, they have passed the hottest decade of their life. Never again will most women look that good again. And that is the shame. Now, yes, of course, some men would say it's not a shame, it's good. If a woman has made bad mistakes in her life, it's her fault. Let her fix her own mistakes. And I agree. Indeed, we all have our own choices. But you see, another reason why many men think women in their 30s are desperate is because many women in their 30s try to come back. They try to come back for a sequel. Yes. Ones that you may have been with before, or ones that may have rejected you before. All of a sudden, in your 30s, her in her 30s as well or whatever, all of a sudden now, certain men are appealing. Now they're appealing. They wasn't appealing in their 20s though, were they? No. No, they weren't. But all of a sudden things have changed. And it makes many men question and wonder, well, does she really want me now? Or is she just desperate? Will she wrap her supposed want and desire for me now around the truth of her desperation? Because the thing is, for some women by 30, they have baggage, debt, children, maybe certain neuroses or mental illnesses. So they come with baggage, more baggage at 30. But for many men in 30, at 30, many men have evolved by 30. They have improved. They may have gained many things, may have lost some things, yes, some youth, but gained maturity, gained wisdom, may have gained more finances. In other words, be a more advanced man in the 30s than he was in his 20s. So at that point, in their 30s, when many men have evolved, and many women have devolved, if you will, or are in the process of doing so, for some men, it doesn't make sense for them to actually want to date a woman in her 30s, even if he is in his 30s as well. Now, yes, of course, many men date women their own age, of course. I'm not saying that, of course, it happens. Many men date women older than them, of course, that happens as well. In the 30s, things change for both men and women. In some sense, you could say that many men were more desperate in their 20s, more eager, more thirsty, in comparison to women in their 20s and 30s. And that brings me on to this point. The term I've heard scientists use, biologists and all these people, all these gists and ists and ologists, how they've said that, and I've seen it and can understand how certain women become more sexual the older they get. Intriguing. So would it be surprising that a woman in her 30s is more sexual than one in her 20s? Is that surprising? Or does it make sense? It makes sense to me. For this reason, if you think about it, if a woman is running out of time in terms of being able to conceive a child, of course the older she gets, her sex drive would naturally increase. So naturally her body may want more if she doesn't consciously want more herself. Maybe it's the body's last throes of childbirth, of the ability to birth a child, that would make women in their 30s more aroused than they were in their 20s, when they could be more relaxed because they had more time. I believe so. I believe that's one reason anyway. You can say as well that women become more comfortable with their bodies the older they get. And point in fact, a woman that's more comfortable with her body, her own body, and knows her own body, in many ways, that makes it easier for men to then understand her body as well. Because she understands it herself. And the point is, because she understands it herself. And to finish this small tangent, it's strange how many women assume men should just be so psychic to know everything. For as skilled as we as men are, there are certain things that work better if the woman knows it her damn self. You know? That makes sense? In other words, it's easier for a man to know a woman if she knows herself first. Does that make sense? And yes, it's the sex as well. How a woman knows herself. You see, that is the thing as well. How much by 30 does a woman know herself? How much would a woman have matured by 30? Would she be maturing into her 30s? Or for some women who had much attention, would it just be a day when she realizes that, well, she's not that hot anymore? You have to wonder. But many women nowadays would be desperate for the reason of changing thoughts, changing ideals, desires, wants, needs, and the fact that landing a man in his 30s or a little older may be more difficult for certain women nowadays, especially when men can see that getting married or settling down too much could be a detriment to them, not to her. What many men see as well and understand is how much they can improve a 30-year-old woman's life. Some would say that's bad, but from my point of view, being 36 myself, it makes sense that I have a choice. I can sleep with older if I want to, bang a few cougars, or some naive 20-year-olds. Either way, the choice, the power is in my hands. The sight as well. But it's also in seeing what I have to offer, seeing my value, and to know that, well, I deserve better than maybe someone's leftovers. Which is bad to say, I know, but for as casual and liberated as many women are, what guarantee do you have as a man that any 30-year-old woman you date is, well, let's say not been in the hands of many, many, many men? But what do you think? And never lose focus. Do not be blinded by the fabric of red flags. Focus. Observe. Remember, the world is yours. Have a nice day.